Seeing no one, we move into staff and committee reports. Who wants to begin?
I'll do.
Cool, and also let's put 5 minutes on. Thank you so much. Oh,
Alright,
excellent.
so the Education Committee met very briefly earlier today. We discussed started discussing things we want to tackle this summer. I am very excited because people seem very enthusiastic about the work we're going to do. Also, I had a brief discussion with the VP for retention and recruitment about a potential trivia or some other kind of challenge between the two committees for board supremacy.
For what?
Board supremacy.
Of the world.
Of the world, yes.
Okay, Eric.
Yeah, I'm Eric V, Vice President for Recruitment and Retention. We also had a meeting today, coincidentally, on the floor right there in the corner, but I can still see where I was sitting, I think. It was a very great meeting. I'm very excited to work with my team. I think my particular favorite thing was they both talked about how they really want to use recruitment to increase diversity in the ICC, and I think that's great because we frequently talk about how we want diversity to not be a committee, but be an idea permeated throughout the ICC. So I'm really happy to see that diversity is permeated the recruitment committee.
I'm the VP DivCom. I'm not yet met with my committee, but I was assigned committee today, and they are all awesome sounding. Before I've met them, I know they are awesome. And I'm really excited to get working on projects started, such as the Baker accessibility assessment and sort of other things.
Great. So my name is Maya, and I'm your ICC president. I chair the coordinating committee. In advance of this training, the coordinating committee worked to develop it, and I thank them very much for that, those who were involved. Also, the COCO has been doing its own training, so we've gone through a process with the former COCO members, the former VPs from the 2013-2014 fiscal year, and they were really generous with their time and sat with the current COCO and had meetings one-on-one, so that's been really productive, and I'm happy it turned out the way it did. COCO also completed the committee assignments that you all were assigned here today, and we'll have our first meeting, our first official COCO meeting anyway, this coming week, so I'm really excited about that. In other news, Ana Leon is the Vice President for Finance Committee. She uses she, her, and hers, and she's from Mish House formerly and now boards there. FinCom has been dealing with a few things, but largely between Ana and Yumna at this point, because there's just now a committee forming, and including line of credit, so we'll talk more about that. You're going to hear a presentation from Yumna at our first board meeting on the 18th of May. And also, Morgan Chatham is from North Campus formerly, now boarding there. She uses she, her, and hers. And Morgan has been meeting with Ron, meeting with Nick, meeting with me, and there's been a lot of really exciting talk about what's in the future of MemCon for the spring, summer, and for the fall winter as well.
Yes, I'm Nick, the GM, he, him, and his. I forgot to say it last time. A lot of action. Finished the staff contract, fully signed. Wish we could have talked about it tonight, but as part of the board approval and a proposal made earlier in the year, we completed the purchase of several brand new computers, monitors, and tablets. Thank you to the board for approving the use of the contingency funds for that. It's not going to be in it, as explained then. I'll just update you as the new board. That's definitely not an every year purchase, but Mohammed Asmari is our part-time tech expert, IT expert, and many of our computers were aging at the point where we needed to replace them. That is exciting. Ron has been fast and furious signing contracts, talking to members' families, new members' families. Overall, I just want to say thank you to the ag team from Ron. That I think that process so far of move it out and move in has gone very well. And finally, on the finance track, we are preparing for an audit. Will be in June. Might not bring an update to you on the May 18th meeting, but either that meeting or the next meeting, probably in June. I want to bring the previous year's audit for you to review and help us drive the questions that you want to ask our auditor.
Okay,
So we just
two
Just
things,
ran out of
so we're
time.
out of time, is there a motion to extend time?
Motion to extend time 5 minutes?
Is there a second?
Second.
Great. Time has been extended 5 minutes. I wanted to give a point of information about the audit, and that is that I believe on the May 18th meeting, we'll be discussing whether or not we want to sign a contract with our current auditor to continue for a 3-year period, because we have to make a determination about who's going to conduct the audit. Yes, Eric?
Just for people who aren't familiar, just yelling out second is appropriate in what we usually do versus like raising your hand. Second.
Cool. Great. Okey doke. Anit, just for the
Okay, yeah,
formality.
so, VP of the Sheila Hers, and we met today, and our members were not present, but they're good to see you and excited to see you.
Andy, VP of Major Maintenance. Today I met with the wonderful folks with DivCom. We discussed the Baker House accessibility evaluation. In terms of what, I'm also the chair of the Interim Assistance Committee right now, so for that report, Interim Assistance Committee is wrapping up housing inspections. We're almost done with that, and following that, reports will be compiled, and we'll be ready to wrap up the Interim Assistance Committee for the winter-spring semester.
Thank you so much, Andy. Awesome. Does anybody have any questions for AVP or myself or Nick? No questions? Cool. Seeing none, we move into discussion on the jacuzzi proposal. So just to be clear, this proposal you have not read. I will give you now probably 2 or 2.5 minutes to read it. It can be assumed that anything you see on the on the meeting agenda, not the mock meeting agenda, anything you see on the meeting agenda for a vote, you should have seen before. And if that's not the case, you should be in contact with myself, with Coco, as soon as possible, so that we can fix that. Because you shouldn't be voting on things you haven't seen before, especially things you haven't seen at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting. So this is obviously a mock meeting, we make exceptions. This won't be enacted into policy if you vote on it. Certainly not. I don't think we have quorum anyhow, but okay, great. Read this for 2.5 minutes and then we will discuss.